So possibly the most important to date for the NCAA history was March 19th, 1966. That was the night a team of 5 black starters made history by winning a national championship. Texas Western College, now UTEP, defeated the University of Kentucky. That win accelerated the advancement of black athletes in the South. All-white leagues like the ACC, the Southwestern Conference, and SEC became integrated within the next 2 years. Led by Don Haskins, a gruff, straight-talking coach known as the Bear, the Miners lit up the 1965-66 regular season with a 23-1 record. A tight-knit group of blacks, whites, and 1 Hispanic, the team finished the season ranked 3rd in the final AP college basketball poll. Now, after winning the previous 7 gold medals, the U.S. thought they had the 1972 Summer Olympics on lock. But one of the most bizarre events that took place changed the course of history. KTSM 9 News sports anchor Colin Deaver speaks with a member of the team that's currently coaching for the Andrus basketball team.
By any metric, it's one of the most infamous moments in Olympic history.
The game was stolen from the Americans. The shamelessness of it all is laughable.
And lifelong El Pasoan Jim Forbes was right in the middle of it.
When it happened, we had no idea that it would gain such traction.
Forbes, who starred at Bel Air and UTEP and played briefly in the NBA, was a member of the 1972 United States Olympic basketball team.
That's one of the joys of my life as an athlete.
But that team is famous for the wrong reasons.
Arguably, it might go down as the most controversial basketball game in history, the way it finished and the stakes. And there was a gold medal. There was a gold medal riding on that.
Bedlam has taken over here at the basketball hall.
September 9th, 1972, the Olympic gold medal game between the United States and the Soviet Union played in Munich, Germany in the middle of the Cold War. Tipping off at midnight to accommodate the American TV audience, the clash was nip and tuck throughout. Forbes made a jump shot to get the U.S. within 1 point late, and with just 3 seconds left, Doug Collins drained 2 free throws to give the Americans a 50-49 lead.
2 of the most clutch free throws in basketball history, in my opinion.
That's when things got wacky. Mistakes by the officiating crew and the scores table allow the Soviets to inbound the ball with a chance to win, not once.
They're changing the clock is what they're doing. They're going back to 3 seconds.
Not twice.
Everybody trying to calm everybody else down, and it would appear it's all over. Wow, what a finish, the United States.
But 3 times. On the first try, it was ruled that the Soviets called a timeout before the inbounds occurred. On the second attempt, officials decided that the clock started too early. On the 3rd Soviet inbounds,
now we're being told the scoreboard is not correct. There is time for the Russians to go to their big man, Alexander Belov. They're going to try. Alexander Belov. And this time it is over.
Here's the irony of it. It gets talked about a lot, but at the same time, had we won that game, no one would ever talk about the 72 Olympic team again.
The Americans protested the 51-50 defeat, but the International Olympic Committee upheld the Soviets' victory. Team USA refused to take the medal stand and accept their silver medals, a decision that Forbes and his teammates stand by to this day.
We didn't earn a silver medal. We earned a gold medal. We won that gold medal in regulation time. And that's just it.
It wasn't about, that we were some sore loser and we weren't going to go out there and do it. We felt in our hearts we'd won the game.
A rash of injuries ended Forbes' promising career before it truly got off the ground, but he's still living his dream. For 37 straight years, he's been a history teacher and a high school basketball coach here in El Paso, leading Riverside and Andrus to the Final Four in 1995 and 2015, respectively.
Putting it together, I think, was the toughest part on his end. And he figured that being disciplined was going to be the success to our team, and he did a good job of keeping us intact. I noticed what I needed to do from him, and I still instill that in our program here.
He's won hundreds of basketball games, but his role as a history teacher is perhaps more impactful. Part of his childhood was spent in the segregated South, and when Forbes teaches the civil rights movement, he draws from his own personal experiences.
A lot of kids will watch video and film and read about it, but it wasn't that long ago that I saw that. You're blessed to see things progress.
Bel Air has retired his jersey. Riverside named its gym after Forbes in 2018.
I'm really proud of him, you know, to get in the classroom and be a great teacher and a great role model for these young people. And I'm just so happy he's carved out a wonderful niche in life.
He's 68 now, but Forbes says he's not ready to hang up the whistle.
I'm doing exactly what I said I wanted to do in 1973. I'll know when it's time. And right now, it's not time.
Whenever that time comes, Jim Forbes will forever be an El Paso legend.
He stayed home, graduated from here, stayed at UTEP, went to the league, got hurt, went to the Olympics, represented El Paso. When it's all said and done, Coach Jim Forbes should be on the Mount Rushmore of most important figures in El Paso.
I was calling